This is Xenofera Galactic Market.
Every decade, the Royal Society holds a great galactic hunt. People from all over the world want to collect these Xenofera aliens from all the other planets. You're all competing to have the most valuable collection of these aliens. So let's head over to the Galactic Market so we can see what Xenofera they have for auction.
The game comes with 6 starting player hands, the Xenofera, 9 types of special action cards, resource cards, a playmat, and a bid token. Now to begin, select your players and your player starting hands. For this game we're doing a 2-player game including green and purple. Shuffle your Xenofera deck and remove 5. That should leave you with 25 Xenofera cards, meaning 25 rounds. A starting player's hand should include 1 through 5 plus a no bid card. I'll explain what all that means in a second. Go ahead and remove 2 types of special action cards from the game. So in this game we're removing all of the loses and all the multipliers. Feel free to give players 1 special action card if you'd like. It's optional. I always do. I do it at random as well. And then shuffle everything together into the deck. Put it next to the Xenofera deck. Or just follow the playmat. Give the player bid token to the first player and have that first player turn over the first Xenofera card. The anatomy is very simple. There's value, the points, the name, and up here in the corner is going to be for advanced play when you're playing with set collection. So on your turn, what's happening is all players will place down a silent bid to try to win this card. Then simultaneously reveal your bets. Now I did it like this to explain 2 things. 1, look at the values, right? So this person has a value of 4 out. Now look at all your opponents and see what their values are. Of course, you could always play more if I wanted to reveal a 4 and a 5, if I wanted to reveal a 1 through 5, or if I just wanted to reveal a 4. What you're doing is trying to have the highest value out of everybody playing. Now, notice I played a separate card with it that doesn't have a value, the special action card. Well, also note the colors here. Green, green, the symbol. You can only play special action cards or resource cards that have the same symbol and color as the one you're playing, right? So the only other time that actually matters is if you play a no bid, because you could play no bid symbol special action cards. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just keep in mind you would not be able to play exchange with this card because of the symbol. Okay? So anyways, in this round, this player obviously won this round because she has a value of 4 while this person did not play any value. They're not bidding. So what happens is they get the Xenofera and they put it in their hand. So this is a special action card that was played alongside the value card. After bidding, put one of your played cards back in your hand. Now, normally you'd have to discard all the cards you just played. So what keep did was allow me to keep this valued card here. This goes into the discard. Now for this player who did a no bid, one great thing about no bidding is you get to draw 2 cards from the resource deck. These cards get to go into your hand and are a lot more valuable than the starting hand. Of course, sometimes they're not always perfect, but you can get 9s, you can get the special action cards in here as well. So the token goes to the person who won, and they turn over the next Xenofera. So play repeats in that exact same fashion. You'll place down silent bids, turn them over, and count up your score. Here has 34, here has 22. So of course, the green player wins this card. Now also notice that I used a Xenofera card here. Instead of keeping it as a Xenofera to score points at the end of the game, I used it as a value instead. Now, of course, this was not a very smart move, as this card right here is valued less than this, but I needed to show you for example. So discard all the cards. Yes, all of them. The only card you keep is a no bid. And one last thing I want to go over. Let's say both players no bid. Oh no, what happens? Nothing too crazy. Both players get 2 cards each. However, this Xenofera stays here. The next Xenofera comes out, and now you're auctioning for 2 Xenofera, a lot higher of a value. Endgame is triggered when your Xenofera deck is empty. Each player looks at all their Xenofera and counts their score. The person with the highest score wins. So, now that you know how to play Xenofera Galactic Market, let's talk about the game a little bit. Right off the bat, a couple things I want to mention is yes, it is very easy to learn and very easy to play. Few hiccups in the rulebook, but nothing you can't hurdle over. I like the simplicity of the game. I think one of my favorite things about the game is, you know, toward the end when people are using their Xenofera cards as value cards and like making some like huge risky move, and you're either like winning a nice load of Xenofera because people were no bidding, or thinking you had a great play and somebody else one-ups you, right? Or, you know, one of my favorite kind of moves, and I think it's hilarious, is like, let's say someone plays out, like I threw out a Xenofera and a couple of my resource cards, thinking that my opponents were going to play some like high scoring cards, right? Or, you know, mostly in like a 2-player game, sometimes this is a lot more exciting, but like if the opponent just plays a no bid and you were under the impression that they were going to play a lot of high value cards, you're like, oh no, I lost all those points, like there goes the Xenofera I was going to score. And even though you win it, like you were playing these cards specifically to try to beat your opponent, and he just kind of let you win it. And I think that's really fun when it happens in that game. One thing I'm not too fond of is I do think that the early game is a little slower scoring card, just because you do have like some low value cards, and it could just kind of get like, you know, you don't really know the strategy of the game yet, so you could just be playing cards out just for fun. Usually I start my turns out, and I think, you know, at this point now, the people I've been playing with, we kind of just no bid, get some cards. We don't let the Xenoforas build up too much, but like, you know, we'll no bid to get some cards so we have some value before we start bringing in some Xenofera. But yeah, this is a game that I think is great for families. I think it's great for new game players, and it is really easy. The pacing is great, that I think it'd be a good filler, because if you're playing heavy games, and of course after the heavy game you want to like lighten up, this is definitely a light game with plenty enough strategy that I think it'll be a good time. Now, is this a game for you? This game is strictly auctioning, and then when you add the advanced rules, it's at collection. The strategy comes in how you want to auction off your cards in order to get new cards. The scoring's very simple. The amount of Xenofera you have, they all have values on them, and those values are added up for your final score. So it's really up to you. Like, is this something that you want to get into because it's quick and easy? It's just auctioning. Everyone knows how to do that. I think the theme really ties into the game really well. You know, some people will throw themes into their games, and it's like, okay, I can see how that would work. But, you know, you have these like outer planetary creatures, and they all look so great, right? I mean, this one right here is one of my favorites. You can ask anybody I play with. The pink elephant, I really like how it looks. It doesn't score too much, but it's not like on the bottom of the barrel here. Now, if you think this is something you are interested in, by the time of this release, I know the Kickstarter will be going. And if you're watching this after the Kickstarter, I'm assuming you're just curious what the game's like. So, you know, watch some other videos, read some other reviews, and see what you think. But this is what I got for you, the how-to and a couple ideas of what I liked about the game. If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.